Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. This is Funmibi here again with another beading tutorial inspired by Shadiat Asooke. If you'd be interested in knowing all about the process, please watch, like this video, share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Alright guys, let's get into the tutorial. Hello friends, so for the sake of today's video we are going to be working with what we call rice beads. You'll also be working with broken glass bead, and we'll be working with this rose monet or something like that. In fact, let me google it and be sure of the name so I'll stop confusing us, because I believe I've talked about it in a different video. I mentioned that in that video someone corrected me in the comment section and she said that these things are called rose montes. Okay, sorry guys, so they're called rose montes. All right, these are rose montes. I believe in a different video I called them claw stones, so these are called rose montes, and this is what we'll be using. We'll start off by tacking this rose monte, this single piece of rose monte, at the center of this piece of fabric. For your own case, it might be a dress you are tacking it onto, it might be anything. Okay, so I'm not going to be wasting too much time so this tutorial does not drag for too long. I've shared a video on how to tack claw stones, so if you're new here, please check that video out. I'm not going to waste time on explaining this entire process. Watch that video so you know how to do what I'm doing in simple steps. Now that my claw stone is tacked, I'm just going to pass my needle again through this point here and then pick up one rice bead, tack it here, bring out my needle at the side again, pick up another rice bead, tack it by the corner, pick up another bead. So you're trying to just create something like a cross, or I don't even know, it's not really a cross, but just, you guys saw the video I shared at the beginning of this tutorial, so that's what we are trying to replicate or try to create on our clothes. So I'm just going to be doing this. Can we see what I'm creating? I hope I've been in focus. I'm just going to be doing this all around till I get a perfect star, like something similar to a star shape around this rose monte that was tacked at the center. If you don't have rose monte, you can use a single piece of crystal bead at that center. Okay, I'll just advise that you do something sparkly at that point so that when you've sewn these rice beads all around it, you just have something at the center just sparkling and looking nice on your outfits. Okay, like I always say, you don't have to go with what I'm advising you to do. I just like to just share things that I think would look nice with you all. So I believe this is the last point we'll be tacking at this point, like so. Can we see what was done here? So around, say, because you remember on the video that I shared, this was done, this type of beading was done all around the bust point of the dress. I can't keep you guys waiting to just see me do this all over the dress, so I'm just going to stop here. When creating your own dress, you can just go off, because for those that know, beading takes hours, so I can't keep you guys just waiting for me to finish up beading this all over this piece of fabric. So now that we have this right here, you can now do something else right beside it. Let me grab another piece of needle to do that. So I have this here, and also another thing I didn't mention, I'm using black thread because this is just a tutorial, right? I'm not making an outfit. When doing yours, use something like this. This is an invisible thread, okay? Or if you're like the way I'm working with champagne gold bead now, you can use a champagne gold polyester thread. And I've seen questions, people saying, what do you mean by polyester thread? Polyester thread is your regular sewing thread, okay? They are sold 50 naira for the small size, and I think the big one is sold for 200 naira or 250, I'm not sure. So that's what, let me even show us an example. This is a black polyester thread. Can we see? Okay, I just like to call things by their names. I can't just say get a black thread. I like to just call it polyester thread because we have different types of thread, right? So this is a polyester thread, so get a matching color. If I was working with black beads now, I could have used a black polyester thread or black invisible thread, or even I could get away with using this clear invisible thread. Okay, so please keep your work neat by using the appropriate colors of thread. Don't just because I'm using black thread for gold bead now you to go and do it. It's because I'm just sharing a tutorial that I'm doing this. All right, so the next thing I was saying we could try doing is creating another type of beading pattern. You saw that on that particular dress at the beginning of this video, so many different beading patterns were done and the end result looked incredibly stunning. So I'm trying to just do something else right beside this our star like shape. So I passed just one single crystal bead. This is it here, that will start here. Right beside it again, I'll bring out my needle, yeah, pull on it, and then pick one more, and then create like a letter V. Okay, can we see? It's just tilting to the side, just a little bit from the first one that we did. So it's tilting just to the side, just slightly, like so. And for this one, pull on your thread very well. You know, I talk about, oh, don't pull on your thread too tightly for certain types of beading pattern. But for this one, when beading something like this, you need to pull very well. Don't over pull too, okay? Just pull so that your beadwork is very firm. Can we see? Something like a V here, right beside it. And then come out here again. Just give it a little bit of space. Let me just do one more. And then at this point here, you can tack another rose monette. And then, why did I keep calling it rose monette? You can tack another rose monty at this point and then do this beading all around it. I'm going to do that off camera and then show us what it looks like. All right, guys. So for this one, I decided to just do like a 4 corner as opposed to this like 6 pieces that we did here. So this is what this looks like already. And then for the sake of people that might be feeling like, oh, they have to use rose monties like me and use rice beads, you can make any type of bead that you have with you. Honestly, you can make it work for you as long as you can just think of a creative way of doing your stuff. So now this exact same pattern, I'm going to try and use a different type of bead. So if I had just my, say, my rice beads like what I have here, and say just size 4 or size 6 crystal beads, let me get my gold crystal beads so that this makes sense. If those were all that I had and I wanted to create something like this, it could still work. So this is my size 4 crystal beads. First of all, as usual, you just pass your needle from here and then pass one single piece of bead, which is my size 4 crystal bead, at the center. Some people, I'm sure somebody will ask, oh, do I have to bead in a way that my thread comes out inside of my lining? Personally, I don't think if your thread comes out inside the lining, it's a problem, as long as you are able to bead in such a way that even if the thread comes out in the lining, it looks neat, okay? And that neatness is going to come if you are using a matching color of thread. So if the lining of your cloth is, say, color gray, use a gray thread to bead that dress, so that even if the beadwork the thread situation on your beadwork is showing, it looks seamless with the lining. Is when you've done color gray lining and you are beading with black thread, of course the inside of the dress will not look fine, okay? So people that will say, oh, must I allow my thread come out on the lining, this and that? Honestly, I don't think it's a problem. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like seeing thread inside of your beadwork, what you simply do is, first of all, after passing your needle and thread through the cloth, okay, you have to start from inside, right? After you have passed it, you will just be passing your needle in such a way that it doesn't get inside. So imagine that this back here is the lining of my dress. I'm just going to pass my needle just lightly through the main fabric, okay? I'm not going to allow my needle get inside of the dress, okay? So that's just the sense behind it. And as you are threading or as you are beading, you are knotting as you go. Remember to always knot. Don't just pass your needle and thread through and move on with life. You need to knot, okay? So you need to knot as you go. So this is what we have here. The next thing I'm going to do now to create this like side piece here, I'll just pick a couple of broken glass beads. I'll pick, say, like 4 pieces. If this was sand beads too, it could have worked, okay? So Yoruba people will say ogbon lo gba, so it just requires wisdom. So you pass your needle and thread inside. I have too many things going on this my work table. That's why my thread just keeps hooking things. So I'll just pass my needle, allow this, my, what's it called, my broken glass beads to stand well, then pull. Can we see? this is it here. Then bring out my needle here again, pick like 4 pieces of broken glass bead again. Because this my listen, I like to just use my needle to pick. So I have like 4 pieces here. All right, and then do that again. Pass my needle like so, then pass this here again. Pick up 4. So if I started with 4 beads, I have to continue all around that my cross-like shape with 4 beads, okay? And if you are the kind of person that doesn't like everything looking too symmetrical, you could play around. You could do one side 4, one side 6, one side 4. Just be very creative with how you go about your work. So I'm just going to pass this here like so. Bring out my needle again here. So this is what we have here, something like this. You see that we didn't have the rose monty or this glass, rice beads, but we're able to create something similar. So the next thing I'm going to show us how to do. So before I move to the next thing, you just create something like this around the dress, however you like, and you will have something beautiful at the end of the day. The next thing I'm going to show us how to do is something similar to what we have around the neckline of the dress. And I'm going to see if I can put like a snippet of what I'm talking about on here. So it's the running beading pattern. Honestly, I don't know what those beading patterns are called. I just come up with them on here for you guys. So you just be picking rice beads, single rice beads, and passing them. Let me have like a line. Okay, so I have like a guideline. Let me grab my ruler and draw a line. So you just imagine that where this line is. So I have like this lightly drawn chalk situation here. So that's what we are going to be. Just imagine that this is maybe like the neckline or the sleeve edge, the hemming of the sleeve, or somewhere, wherever it is, or even the hem of your skirt, right? If you want to bead a skirt, whatever it is. So imagine that this is it, where this line is. So I've already picked one rice bead now. I'm just going to pass my needle like so, bring it out here, pick another rice bead like so. Make sure that it's sitting under our line again perfectly. And I'm not allowing my beadwork to get to the back of the fabric. Just like so, slowly and steadily. With beading, so many different vibes you can give, honestly. Any vibe you want, you go for it. So can we see what we have here already? Let's get out of focus. Can we see this 3 that we have here? So I'm just going to repeat this all the way till I get to the end of the line, and then I'll show us what to do. I hope you all understood. If you don't understand, please watch me. I'm going to put a sped up montage of how I bead this entire line. So just in case you don't understand, you can look at what I'm doing and replicate it. Alright guys, so now that we have something like this here, imagine this at the edge of the sleeve of a dress or even in the middle on the bodice of the dress, right? You don't have to do it just at the neckline. You can do it anywhere. It's just something like this using rice beads. You can use any type of bead. Again, you can use this type of broken glass bead. You can use your sand beads, seed beads. Honestly, there's no limit. And then create something like this and you have a fantastic result. I hope we all enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope we learned something. I just want to finish up my stitch here. If you did, please give me a big fat thumbs up. Okay, it helps me know that you guys got value from watching this video, and it also helps the YouTube algorithm spread my videos to a wider audience. Also, if you're not subscribed, please remember to subscribe on your way out so you don't miss out on any of the other tutorials that I'll be coming on here on my channel. Remember to also click on the bell like button right beside the subscribe button so you're able to know every single time I post a video. I post videos weekly. Share with a friend. And yeah guys, I can't wait to see you in another tutorial very soon. Bye.